Every day on this channel, I go through everything Elon said on X in the last 24 hours. And here's how many times Elon posted about each subject today. I'll go over everything he said about each topic before moving on to the next one. And starting with xAI, this thread began with OpenAI newsroom announcing OpenAI and NVIDIA strategic partnership to deploy 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems. This enables OpenAI to build and deploy at least 10 gigawatts of AI data centers with NVIDIA systems, representing millions of GPUs for OpenAI's next-gen AI infrastructure. So Tech Dev Notes quoted this saying, "What does this mean for xAI? Are we cooked?" Elon replied saying, "Just as we will be the first to bring a gigawatt of coherent training compute online, we will also be the first to 10 gigawatts, 100 gigawatts, and 1 terawatt, etc." I said etc. because Elon put a ... and then Base Beth Bezos quoted it saying, "Elon will build the first Kardashev 1 class cluster, 100,000 terawatts." Elon replied saying, "That's a lot of zeros." And then Elon reposted this clip today of Jensen talking about his accomplishments at xAI.
Then his engineering team is extraordinary. I mean, the software team's great, the networking team's great, the infrastructure team is great. You know, Elon understands this deeply. And from the moment that we decided to go, the planning of with our engineering team, our networking team, our infrastructure computing team, the software team, all of the preparation in advance, all of the infrastructure, all of the logistics, and the amount of technology and equipment that came in on that day, NVIDIA's infrastructure and computing infrastructure and all that technology, to training, 19 days. You know what? You don't want.
Did anybody sleep? 24/7.
No question that nobody slept. But first of all, yeah, 19 days is incredible. Mm-hmm. But it's also kind of nice to just take a step back and just, do you know how many days 19 days is? It's just a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Right.
And the amount of technology, if you were to see it, is unbelievable. All of the wiring and the networking, and you know, networking NVIDIA gear is very different than networking hyperscale data centers. Right. Okay, the number of wires that goes in one node, the back of a computer is all wires. And just getting this mountain of technology integrated and all the software, incredible.
Right.
Jensen also said in that clip, Elon is singular in his understanding of engineering. Never been done before. xAI did in 19 days what everyone else needs 1 year to accomplish. That is superhuman. There's only one person in the world who could do that, and it's Elon. And now xAI is working on MacroHard, a Microsoft competitor. This xAI employee says hiring for a new team building computer control agents. Join us to build Grok 5 and MacroHard later this year. So this employee quoted saying MacroHard is coming. And Elon quoted that saying, "Help build MacroHard, the AI software company." Another xAI employee quoted saying, "In late 2020, Tim Lillicrap and I started the computer control project at DeepMind. We wanted to create agents that interact with computers via mouse and keyboard and pixels. We made some good progress, but it was early days for general agents. It's time to go back." And Elon replied saying, "Yes." And he says yes again to another xAI employee saying MacroHard is on the way. And I brought up this new partnership earlier in this video. NVIDIA invests $100 billion in OpenAI. They invest $100 billion in Oracle, and Oracle spends $100 billion on NVIDIA GPUs. So Chris posts a photo of an outlet block plugged into itself. And Elon wanted to see if Grok would get the joke. And Grok did. It said the photo mirrored a power strip loop, reflecting real-world concerns about a potential economic feedback loop in the AI industry, where NVIDIA's investment could lock in its chip monopoly. And this xAI employee says, "We are hiring to build an AI-native knowledge-based search engine." And Elon reposted it. And he also reposted this from Tech Dev Notes. xAI is building a team for AI-native knowledge-based search engine. The focus is developing and optimizing search pipelines for language model agents at scale, with a core goal of supporting maximum truth-seeking capabilities. They're going to design efficient search algorithms and indexing strategies for trillion-scale datasets across modalities. They will integrate search systems with xAI's core models to improve accuracy, speed, and relevance in real-time agent interactions, ensuring agents can discern and prioritize truthful information. They'll experiment with advanced techniques like dense retrieval and hybrid search to minimize biases and hallucinations. They will ensure robustness and scalability of search infrastructure under high-load conditions while aligning with truth-seeking objectives. And you can start a fresh thread in Grok without disrupting your current chat. You can seamlessly continue where you left off while exploring new conversations in parallel. It's just this button right here, and it's very helpful. And Elon reposted it. And if you didn't know, you can just one-tap launch Grok instantly on your laptop. There's no need for opening the full Chrome browser every time you want to use Grok. You just head to grok.com in Chrome, click the icon at the top right of the search bar, hit Install App, and then pin it to the taskbar. And a pro tip, you can assign a hotkey for the shortcut. And Elon reposted this. And Grok code usage has skyrocketed to almost 2 trillion tokens in the first month, while second place on the leaderboard sits at 350 billion tokens. Grok code is still the only top player in AI coding space on Kylo code, and nothing is even close. The chart's red section is all Grok code, and Elon reposted this. And on open router leaderboards, Grok 4 Fast is hitting close to 100 billion tokens a day, and it comes in second to Grok code Fast 1. Elon quoted it saying Grok now holds first and second place. And Dylan Patel said, "Yo, I heard if you press up, up, down, down, left, right, BA in San Francisco, there's an infinite money glitch." And you guys know what I'm talking about, OpenAI, Oracle, and NVIDIA. Elon said the big question is whether the infinite money glitch lasts until the infinite money AI genie arrives. NVIDIA gives money to OpenAI, who gives money to CoreWeave, who gives money to NVIDIA, who gives money to OpenAI. Repeat. It is the big circle jerk. Elon replied to this saying, "Teamwork makes the dream work," having a laugh. Yassine says Anthropic is going to lose. Elon said winning was never in the set of possible outcomes for Anthropic. And Nvidia stock was up 250 billion on the news. There's another photo depicting the strategy, and Elon has a laugh at that one too. And this picture was taken on Mars today, and Elon reposted it. And pretty big news today, not that it wasn't obvious. Representative Jim Jordan says, "Due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform." But that's not all. YouTube also admits the Biden administration's censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Confirms that the Biden administration wanted Americans censored for speech that did not violate YouTube's policies. It details when YouTube began rolling back its censorship policies on political speech after the House committee began its investigation. It states that public debate should never come at the expense of relying on authorities, and promises never to use third-party fact-checkers. It warns that Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech. He says, "Over the past few years, we have uncovered massive scandals relating to big tech censorship," quoting the Facebook files from 2023. During the Biden and Harris years, under White House pressure, YouTube changed its policies to censor political debate on COVID and elections. Today, YouTube admits that the censorship pressure from Biden administration was unacceptable and wrong. Now, to make amends to the American people, and because of our work, YouTube is rolling back its censorship policies on political speech, including topics such as COVID and elections. So it means that certain names will have an opportunity to come back on the platform, and it's another victory in the fight against censorship. In August 2024, Mark Zuckerberg wrote the committee a letter admitting the Biden admin pressured Facebook to censor Americans, Facebook censored Americans, and Facebook throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story. Even as Meta admitted the Biden-Harris censorship was wrong, others in big tech were reluctant to go on the record. Now Google is acknowledging for the first time that it too faced censorship pressure from the Biden White House, and that pressure was unacceptable and wrong. YouTube also is trying out community notes. Elon was ahead of the curve, and Meta followed suit, and now YouTube. And YouTube confirms that Europe is targeting American speech and innovation. Here it admits that European social media laws place a disproportionate regulatory burden on American companies. YouTube warns that Europe could force companies to remove lawful social media content and could risk freedom of expression within and outside of the EU. That's right, Europe wants to censor your online speech even if you are not in Europe. Michael Schellenberger quotes this saying, "Finally, Google admits that the Biden White House demanded censorship of legal content and that the European censorship law could require it and other tech companies to remove lawful content both within and outside of the EU. The US must stand up to EU censors," and Elon reposted this. The House Committee on the Judiciary says it's a big win for freedom, and Elon said, "Well done." Nico quoted that saying, "We all owe my friend Elon a huge debt of gratitude for stepping in when our country needed it the most. Without him taking a stand, this never sees the light of day. Thank you, brother." And Elon replies with a heart and a robotic arm. And the other day, during Charlie Kirk's memorial, Elon said they murdered our emissary of peace in cold blood. Message received. Liam Neeson said, "Who is they, Elon?" Mike Lee quoted it saying, "They are radical leftists who compare conservatives to Hitler and glorify assassination." Data Republican replied, "It's that simple. Did you feel sadness for Kirk or did you celebrate his death? Now consider Charlie made a whole career around building bridges and dialogue. If you think the world is a better place without him, you're saying the world is a better place without the entirety of MAGA. There's no ambiguity here. Do you want us to be eliminated or not? I think the closest conservatives feel to this is Soros. But Soros was genuinely the most antithetical in character and deed. And even then, it's frustration over his longevity." And Elon said yes. And Elon also responded directly to Mike Lee, saying they are radical leftists, and he said exactly. And Wokeness posted sex offenders per million. Biological women is 3. Biological men is 395 sex offenders. And trans women is 1,916 sex offenders per million. And he quotes that saying, "Data is transphobic." Elon quoted it saying, "Wow, a trans activist in the United Kingdom is facing trial on charges related to the sexual abuse of a young girl." J.K. Rowling said, "I wonder what it is about a movement campaigning to allow men into protected spaces for women and girls that might attract sexual predators. A mystery for the ages." Elon said, "If cloak of moral invulnerability is offered, the first to take it will be the most immoral." The left says Robert Kennedy Jr. is too anti-science. But also the left have pregnant men. Elon has a laugh at that one. And Disney says Jimmy Kimmel Live show to return on Tuesday. Omar says Democrats were more up in arms about missing 2 episodes of Jimmy Kimmel than they were about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. And Elon says, "Yup." Mike Solana says, "This is crazy because I was told the government shut it down." And Elon has a laugh at that one. Meanwhile, in Dearborn, Michigan,
and the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
America must fall, he said. The city is already over 55% Muslim, and they clearly don't have plans at stopping there. Elon quoted that saying, "America will not fall." A similar message from Ilhan Omar, saying, "I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from inside the U.S. system," and she represents Minnesota. Phil quoted that saying, "Our elected officials are legally and ethically required to protect America's interests, not another country or another religion's or another kind of law. This shit needs to end." Elon agrees, adding in the American flag. And Trump announced he's going after Antifa. Here's Chuck Todd saying he doesn't even know what Antifa is in 2025, whereas in 2017 he said, "Mark Bray, you are writing this book, Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook. Explain this movement." And Elon raises an eyebrow at that one. And moving on to Tesla. Tesla says, "Shareholders, we need your vote. Our next chapter will help create a world we've only begun to imagine and put the world on a path towards sustainable abundance for all. To make this future a reality, we are asking shareholders to vote with our board's recommendations on all proposals. You should now have received your control numbers that will enable you to vote. For instructions on how to vote, please refer to your proxy materials or visit votetesla.com." And Elon reposted this, and he also put votetesla.com in his bio. And Robert Scoble says, "I was blessed with the first ride and first sales pitch with Elon Musk in the first Tesla, which showed me that he alone was driving Tesla forward from the very beginning. Of course, I voted for the proposals that shareholders are presented with, and I recommend you do too." Elon said, "Thanks, Robert." And Tesla Boomer Mama reminds us, remember, 1 vote per account. Multiple accounts equals multiple votes. That's in regards to Fidelity, and Elon reposted it. The Cybertruck guy uses Robinhood and Vanguard and can't find where to vote. He's not received any communications. How are normies supposed to vote on this one without access or awareness? Elon said, "Working on it." The SpaceX employee said, "I voted tonight with the board recommendations. Godspeed at Tesla," and Elon responded with a heart. Sawyer Merritt voted for Elon's new compensation package and a Tesla investment in xAI. Elon said, "Thanks." And Deborah encourages you to vote with the board's recommendations on all proposals. And so does Krista Netton. Elon responds to her with a heart. And then he replies to her again, and he says, "It's not about compensation, but about me having enough influence over Tesla to ensure safety if we build millions of robots. If I can just get kicked out in the future by activist shareholder advisory firms who don't even own Tesla shares themselves, I'm not comfortable with that future." Yunta voted. He's a senior staff engineer at Tesla. Elon gave him a heart. The future is in your hands. And Elon reposted this. And Sawyer posted how to vote in Tesla's shareholder meeting. And shout out to everyone using interactive brokers. I'll put a link in the description if you plan on starting your investing journey. But Elon quoted Sawyer saying this is how to vote your Tesla shares. And I'll put the link in the description to this. And Raj is a Tesla employee and he posted a simple breakdown based on the latest IRS guidelines. This is for the tax credit. You must order and take delivery by September 30th for the credit to be factored into your payments. Model 3 and Model Y supply is very tight, he says. That's for the lease. For finance and cash, you can order by September 30th and take delivery later. Keep in mind that eligibility is subject to any future changes in IRS guidelines. So it's best to order now and take delivery at the earliest. And Elon reposted it. And Louis Battaglia says sometimes innovation is radical simplification. The nautical astrolabe, key to long-distance voyages like Magellan's, was a radical simplification of the intricate planispheric medieval astrolabe, pioneered by the Portuguese. And Elon replied to this saying, now we have GPS. And a quick stream poll for Diablo 4 Season 10 start. What are you playing? Elon said Druid has risen a lot in popularity. Maybe Barbarian's time next season. So that's everything that Elon said today. Love to see the confidence from him on xAI. Despite the sort of human centipede deal that we saw with Oracle, Nvidia, and OpenAI, cool to see Google publicly admit that they were pressured and that they did indeed censor people politically. And make sure that you go vote your Tesla shares. I'll put the link on how to vote your Tesla shares in the description. And also, if you ever want to start your investing journey, I recommend interactive brokers. I'll pin that in the comment, not financial advice. So that's all for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.